What's going on, guys? It's Robby and Austin. We're back. Doug wasn't able to make it on today, but we're gonna get a quick run through of the NBA Finals and just some recent NFL news for the week. So how you doing, Austin?
Robbie, I'm doing good. I saw your face today for the first time in a little bit.
I
Always,
did.
always makes my day.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm told I have that effect on people. But
Yeah.
yeah, Austin dropped off some nice solo balls for a future card submission.
Yeah, stay tuned. So, NBA Finals. Kind of seems like the series has finally taken the turn that everyone kind of expected. The
Mm-hmm.
Thunder seem to have, I don't know, it kind of feels like, well, actually, not kind of feels like it is do or die now for the Pacers.
Yeah.
Tyrese banged up, but I gotta say, you this is because of you. You jinxed them game four.
I
That you jinxed
had
them.
to use my powers. Um, yeah, so if you guys don't know what we're referencing, I may have sent a text. I'm like, the Pacers are really gonna go out 3-1, and the Thunder proceed to come back and win it. And I've had this happen in the past before.
Yeah, Robbie knows exactly what he's doing here. He has done this multiple times where he subtly will text, "Oh man, this game's over," but he knows in the back of his mind it is nowhere close to over. But yeah, the Pacers had such a great opportunity
Hmm.
to go up 3-1 and basically do what they did to the Knicks. You
Yeah.
know, go ahead, lose, but then close it out game six. But now it's go back, win game six to force game seven. And anything can happen in game seven. My prediction, still alive.
Hey. So
Pacers in
so is
seven.
mine.
Do you say 4-2?
I no. I said in six. I said the
Yeah,
Thunder.
4-2.
Yeah.
And what did Doug say?
I think he said five.
Five?
I think
So he's
I
probably
could be wrong.
he was out quick.
We'll review the tapes.
Yeah, we'll have
But
to do a VAR check.
yeah, that I mean that game was crazy. That how the Pacers were up, and usually they're not the team that's letting someone else come back on them, and the Thunder turned the tables. I mean it was like a 10-point separation at one point, like pretty late in the third, early fourth, and then Shea and J Dub, they were playing really well, and they kind of just took over. Yeah, and
Yeah,
got it done.
that was Shea's like MVP moment game. Like it seemed like he was kind of very slow. Because I know this because some of us may or may not have had a bet out on his points. Um, but in the fourth quarter, I was sitting next to a Thunder fan watching the game, and he was just saying, we're dead, this game's over." I think he was also trying to do the reverse jinx. But I kept telling him, I was like, these finals, these whole playoffs, this is what it's been about this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to think that the
And
Pacers just need to be going down, or they need to go down like
low
8 points going into the fourth quarter.
low
It
key,
ignites a
I
fire.
mean, it seems to. I mean, they just I guess they don't want to play while they're ahead. I mean, it's also gonna. I mean, next year teams are gonna be. I mean, obviously you're always drilled to finish out the games, but next year they got to make it an emphasis. You finish out these games. You're up 20
Yeah,
with 10 minutes left. That means nothing. You have to just play like it's like, as in football they always say, the score is 0-0 at half. Like, teams will say that to each other, and you have to play like that, because otherwise you have all these teams coming back, and it's like you have to manage the lead. You can't just start jacking up one-legged contested
nope.
threes just because you're up by 20. Keep playing the same offense, because we see this happen a lot when teams are up. They start just jacking up threes because they think, oh, we're gonna seal this. We see it work sometimes when they're on fire, but when they start to go cold, like, you're jacking up threes. That's just bad possessions,
Yep.
not wasting a lot of clock, or holding it to end of possessions, trying to hit like an ISO bucket every time, and it's like, just play your offense.
Yeah. Now, were you surprised that Rick Carlisle pulled his starters game five with like 2 minutes left? Minute 51, I think was the official time stamp.
Yeah,
Pulled the
I mean,
starters.
he must have felt like it was like not tonight, like they aren't looking like they're doing enough to come back, or he didn't see enough fire, and he's like, I don't want my guys to get hurt. I mean, they've had a long playoffs. It's a grind for a lot of these guys. Obviously, playing press defense full way, or having to take on these tough assignments. So he must have just felt like, man, it's over now.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what though, TJ McConnell, what a spark plug that guy is. Such a rat. Just comes in and just plays 100% every single possession.
Yeah.
Hitting big shots, forcing turnovers. It's like, that's the guy you want to have on your team.
Exactly. Like, he's a perfect locker room guy, and like you want someone just who's gonna be a menace on defense. Plus, he's a small guy. Like, you would underestimate him, but he's fast. Like, I saw Alex Caruso on one of them. He clearly underestimated him because TJ just blew right by him. It's like, this guy is fast, and he stuck around the league for a long time for a reason. It seems every time he does that little like dribble around, and then when he gets into like that little fadeaway, it's like, even if it's someone with long arms on him, they just can't get there for whatever reason. He's got like
quick enough. He's got the Kawhi pull up, like his arms are like fully extended when he shoots, and I just give nothing but props to him, because you're right. It does always feel like when he's on the court, like that people underestimate him.
Yeah,
but you can't, and he gets the crowd fired up. Like his intensity is at a max level. Honestly, kind of seems like he would have been like a Dan Hurley guy. Always just high energy, ready to go, and scrappy, which I love. I love players like that.
Yeah, the classic, scrappy, undersized point guard archetype.
Yeah.
Gonna play tough defense. Like, first one in, last one out.
Exactly.
Same as those slot receivers in the NFL.
Yeah. What are you alluding to?
Nothing. But yeah, I mean, that was the last game. He had that legacy game, right? Like he had like a 6, like 12 or 14 in the third quarter, something like that.
It was the TJ McConnell.
It was insane. And then the Thunder ended up just going out. Jalen Williams 40 piece. Tyrese obviously was hurt, but he still was getting clamped up. Like, Lou Dort was all over him. And I mean, that Lou Dort's a special defender, so got to give him all the credit in the world. Like, even if a star is a bit hampered, I mean, that doesn't really, when you're playing that kind of defense, and it's tough to go against a guy playing at that level.
That's what I said though at the beginning of the series, was just like the Thunder are just like a much better version of the Pacers. Mm-hmm. Like, they can play that game of fast, and they play better defense. Mm-hmm. So it's like they just have better players right now. It's tough for the Pacers. I want them to win just because it would be so awesome for the city of Indianapolis. I know you're smirking over there because they knocked out your Knicks, but they honestly they saved you guys from embarrassment. You guys would have got run out the gym.
Hey, they didn't want to see us in New York.
Okay. But yes, Jalen Williams drops a 40 bomb, Game 5. I did see, he had like an interview or something before the game, like a sit down, and he said that he was going to channel his inner Kobe.
Hey, so we saw it out there. I mean, he was aggressive, taking mid-range shot. Like, him and Shea in the mid-range were unbelievable. He was taking it to the hoop. I mean, it's tough to stop. Like, when the second option drops 40 piece, it's like, Shea didn't have the most efficient shooting night, but he still had 30. And then J-Dub, if he's dropping 40, I mean, there's not much you can really do. That's 70 points between two guys.
Literally. I saw like a stat that it was like it was the most like time effective 40-point game, like in like the least amount of minutes. He had like 35 minutes and it was 40 points. I think that was the lowest in the finals.
I mean
I think he got
that's
sent
not a
out
lot of minutes for the finals. So I mean I wouldn't be surprised. I mean
over a point a minute.
yeah,
Pretty effective.
strictly out there. Also playing great defense too. I also got a shout out. Shea on defense was playing
Yeah.
some crazy defense. Like so many. I think he's like one of the leaders in blocks for the series too, and he's making
Really?
plays all over. I think when I checked, I could be wrong. We can fact check that after, but he's making some great plays, and obviously like when we're surrounded with all these guys, like Lou Dort is like he's going back to him like he's such a strong defender. Plus he can move with guys, so you can match him up against so many different archetypes of players, which
Yeah.
is huge. And then obviously, everyone else on the team, but like you have Caruso who can just come in, like
Yeah.
Chet, and it's just like it's tough. Like you're gonna have to be on fire when you're playing them, and it's unfortunate Tyrese is hurt, but that's kind of like you got to figure out some other way. I mean, it's gonna have to be hot shooting to get them out of this. Just because when you're playing, the only thing that can beat great defense is obviously just better offense,
Take
which is
that
just
shot. Yeah.
hitting insane shots. So we have
Yeah.
a big game tonight.
Yeah. The Thunder. They play tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Oh, okay.
the
Got my days mixed up.
I know. Well, well, you know how the NBA loves to drag out the finals
Yeah,
every
it's like
3 days.
usually it's on a Wednesday. I feel like they've been playing in the playoffs, but
I
that's that's a might be.
Yeah, I would that when the Thunder start their rotation in the third quarter, when they go Shea, Dub, Caruso, Dort, and Chet, that rotation is
Mm-hmm.
they're menaces. Like it's so hard to score on them, and they run
Yeah.
it so quick because their starters. It's the only time it's really like you might be able to find like a mismatch or you can get a switch is when they have Hardenstein on the court. But even
Mm-hmm.
Hardenstein, like it's not like he's a bad defender. It's just like
Yeah.
he's the only one that you really can target. Like you can try and
Yeah.
target Shea, but he's been playing really good defense this finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you're saying, the only time they can really, get those mismatches is maybe like, big on guard type stuff. And it's like
Yeah,
when you have Chet who can move around as a big man pretty well, I mean, it's obviously, the best chance you're gonna have to get separation, but it's still like it's also tough because they're great at getting over those screens.
yeah,
Like it's very tough to get by this defense, and it's better when they're in transition. They're able to at least negate. So like in the half court, it's obviously way tougher against a defense like this. So I mean, they just have to keep it fast, but it's also the Thunder are so great at playing that games that
I know.
it's tough either way.
It's going to be a good shooting night for them.
Yeah,
You're right. It's just
and
how it's going to be, and they can do it.
mm-hmm.
I
We've
feel
seen it.
like Aaron Naismith's been a little bit quiet,
Yeah.
so look out
But
for a
I
breakout
do
game.
see literally every time he gets like any open shot or ounces, it feels like he always hits the three. It's like
Yeah, he does.
so that's the thing. Like, and we know anything can happen in a game 7. You don't have to be the better team, obviously. So if you win tonight, you have it. Obviously, you have a chance in game 7. But
Yep.
you gotta come out there with a better effort than last game. Obviously, it wasn't like a crazy blowout or anything, but it's you still need to do better if you want to win the series.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's going back to Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
so being in the home environment always helps. I am a bit concerned with Tyrese Halliburton. I
Mm-hmm.
really, really, really hope that it's not like the Aaron Gordon scenario, like where if he plays, like he's just you can clearly tell like he's having difficulty like moving up and down the court
Yeah.
because obviously he's had such a special playoff run right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I want him to be fully healthy just for entertainment purposes, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he's fun to I'm gonna give it to him. He's fun to watch because he does so
Mm-hmm.
much. Even without like shooting and scoring, like he passes the ball really well, he
Passing.
dribbles
Yeah.
really well. So
Even defense, like I've seen him make some plays.
yeah, he's made a lot of
you
plays
know,
on defense
so.
too, ripping balls.
Pause. But
So
yeah. Tyrese, we're gonna. I mean, it's going to be tough also, if he's not, because you saw last game he obviously had 0 points from the floor. He if he's having that type of game, it's really tough. You need like a bigger game. Obviously this series he hasn't really had like a crazy like scoring outing just because there's so many great defenders too, and it's like it feels like he's been less aggressive, but it's also probably the fact that there's a lot like there's a great defense there, and it's really tough to get aggressive and take it to the hoop all the time on this defense. So it's definitely they're gonna need more. I mean, maybe he'll rack up like a 12 assist game or something, and maybe doesn't score that much, but is like creating.
It's hard to do against the Thunder. I don't know the exact stat, but I keep seeing people on like their best bets on Twitter saying take his under assist every game because they allow like the least amount of assists to point guards in like the NBA. So it was kind of just they play such overwhelming defense for guards. Like it is really hard to create. I think it's gonna have to be a big Pascal Siakam game.
Yeah,
and Aaron Aces, obviously. Tyrese Halliburton's he's definitely gonna play. It's the finals. He'll play through it, but it's the whole thing with calf strains that really concerns me is like that's how you get your Achilles injuries. Like that's what happens. So I hope he doesn't overexert his energy or just his movements because it is the finals. But I don't know. We're gonna see how it plays out. I don't think they have an official grade on it. I'm pretty sure it's likely a grade 1 is what I was reading before this, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. If not, I mean, it's gonna T.J. McConnell.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he had that big last game. They need him to step up. They're gonna need everyone, all around, step up, help out Tyrese. But as of now, I was just thinking like, if the Pacers win the series, Pascal's probably the Finals MVP, right? Because some of the games and it's like he's kind of the biggest factor for them because he could be such a mismatch on the switches. Like if he gets switched on to Case and Wallace, he's too big for him. Or if he gets switched on to a lot of these guys, like he's too big for them. That's the one like slight weakness, but it's like they're still obviously going to play a hard defense on him. It's not like necessarily easy, but he's the one who has the best chance.
Yeah. Well, now Robbie, I have to raise this question: if T.J. McConnell has a big Game 6 and a big Game 7, could he rat his way into a Finals MVP?
I mean, if he has like a legacy games, if he has legacy games, I mean, yeah, it's definitely like if he somehow had in some crazy performances to win them the series, especially if Tyrese was hurt. We've seen guys like not necessarily the star guy when Iguodala won it over Curry. It can happen, especially if he had like a crazy game 6 and 7 to win it. I mean, that would be like someone would be hitting a crazy bet with that.
Yeah, the Finals MVP T.J. McConnell ticket.
And then
that's something though that you'd think about like 10 years from now, being like, people forget T.J. McConnell
Finals MVP. It's
That'd
like,
awesome.
Yeah, that would be insane. I mean, maybe in another universe, but never know what happens. Anything can happen. And then
I actually wanted to ask you about this.
Yeah.
I saw, I don't like this. It seems like bad juju. They made a Game 7 hat. They made in Pacers colors.
The Pacers
just as Game 7. I think that's bad juju.
I don't like the jinx. I don't like the jinxing stuff. So I mean, I kind of agree with that. I'm like,
the master of the jinx.
Yeah, that's like a little. But I mean, some people see it as confidence, but I'm like, it's a little.
I'll be honest.
Unless they already like have to make those way in advance. Like, all right, but it's like
I didn't like that a picture got leaked of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or I don't like that. If you got to make it in advance, fine. Don't post it. Although you see those kids like in like the third world countries and whatnot that wear like the shipments and it'll be like Chiefs Super Bowl for this year and whatever. So but I don't like it. I don't like it.
No. Yeah, that does seem like a little bad juju, as you're saying, and
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens, but you better not get blown out,
No.
especially
If
not
I
after
if
that.
I were to put out if I were to like give out something at the stadium and they give out the T-shirts
Hmm.
or a hat, mine would say win game 6.
Yeah, that's fair.
Win game 6. Anything can happen game 7.
Yeah, that because that's a little. But yeah, we'll tune in. We'll have this up before Game 7, or I mean Game 6. So make sure you guys listen.
Did you
And
just jinx them
no,
again?
no,
Is that another?
no, that was not intentional. But yeah, we'll see what happens with them. I mean, obviously, it's been a very fun series. Like I mean, so people can say what they say about small market teams, but even being that we lost to the Pacers, it's like this series has been. I feel like it's been fun. I've
Yeah, the
had fun
Pacers.
watching it.
Pacers are a fun team,
Yeah,
and so are the Thunder are just very
yeah,
good at basketball, so it's
yeah.
like more so an appreciation watch.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pacers, it's fun watching a team play fast basketball and
Yeah.
having rats like T.J. McConnell fire up a
Yeah,
crowd.
exactly. And
Fun.
when it's both teams playing like that, it makes it even better. And it's like
Yep.
this was like kind of stylistically an ideal matchup for an NBA Finals. But
Mm.
yeah,
Before we move on from the finals, Robbie,
yeah.
Stephen A. Smith.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah. That I mean, doesn't really surprise me. Bro is literally on his phone playing, what was it, Tetris or Solitaire?
Solitaire.
Solitaire before the during the game, while he was trying to say, oh, it was during a commercial. It was literally someone showed the whole picture. It was literally during the actual game. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on. I'm like, it doesn't surprise me. A lot of these guys like who end up doing these takes on these shows, like they don't really necessarily know or watch all the plays, and it kind of doesn't surprise me with some of their takes. Like some of their takes are just so heinous. It's like
Rage bait.
yeah, exactly. They're just trying to, they're great for their TV personalities. They could debate with anyone. Like they're probably, some of the, best debaters. But it's like, what do you think on it?
I just think it's. I hate that it's Stephen A. because he's the guy that like. He's the face of like basketball
Yeah.
personalities in
Hmm.
terms of like TV. So it's like this. You can't. I feel like you lose credibility almost when you're playing solitaire
Hmm.
during a game, and then you were like, you thought you could get away with it and say that it was during timeout, and
Yeah.
then you got caught in 4K again with video panning over while it's
Yeah.
live during the game in the NBA Finals. It's just
Like,
guy's such a clown.
yeah.
Stephen A. is a professional rage baiter.
Hmm.
He will say whatever he wants to. I don't even know. I feel like NBA guys just like don't like him. Like we know LeBron hates him, but like and
Yeah.
Kevin Durant definitely hates him.
Yeah, he definitely probably a lot of these guys are just like it's like come on, like sometimes they're not even talking basketball. It's like they're literally spending more time on like drama or like creating drama than actually talking about like basketball. Like that's why it was nice like when JJ Redick was on these shows, or he would actually like break down the
Real
game, like
ball knowledge.
tell us, yeah, exactly. It's like that's what a lot of us fans, but they just want he's doing for the clicks, and yeah, it's unfortunate, and then especially like when he starts talking about other sports, I'm like, bro, he does not know about when he talks about NFL. I'm like, I cannot respect his opinion on.
I remember when they had him like talking about UFC with Joe Rogan,
Yeah,
and it's like
I
you're in
don't
way
know.
over your head if you want to talk MMA with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and it's yeah, I'm like he's a smart guy, but it's like it's just kind of like annoying when you aren't fully paying attention. In my opinion, I mean, especially when it's an opportunity like watching the NBA Finals that millions of people would be like, oh, I
Dying
do,
to know,
yeah. It's but it is what it is. I mean, it's not gonna really change much. He still has his crazy job. It's just like it does feel like it loses a little bit of like I don't know, a little more respect than you'd normally have. But to get into some more NFL news, we just actually had some. Oh, actually, let's talk about the NBA trade that just happened.
Oh yeah,
Massive trade. So Desmond Bain was traded to the Orlando Magic for
Orlando
KCP, Cole Anthony, I believe 4 firsts and a pick swap.
Unprotected first.
Unprotected, which is dangerous.
I see. When I first saw that news, I was like, "Oh, they're gonna get aggressive for Giannis." So I was like,
Yeah.
now you can just package Jaren and these picks that you got and go
Mm-hmm.
get Giannis. But I guess came out they're not trying to move those two at all. So very interesting. Kind of feels like an overpay. But I
Yeah.
mean, Desmond Bain, to be fair, he's been like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league since he's entered. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
right around like a 40% career 3-point shooter,
Mm-hmm.
which is very good. Um, I don't know why these teams keep going like 5 and 4 first round picks. Like you had Mikal Bridges, and now you have
Yeah.
Desmond Bain. It's like
Yeah, it's
it's a
a
lot. It's a
lot.
lot.
It's pretty rich. I mean, I understand like the Thunder. I mean, the Magic. They desperately needed shooting. Like
Yeah,
that's what
that was
the Celtics series was awful for them because the paint was just so clogged. Like they just desperately needed shooters. I mean, you're obviously getting a great player. You know, Desmond Bain. He's a really good player, and he'll fit in their scheme really nicely. So in that way, it's good, but it's definitely rich to pay. It feels like, but maybe it was the
yeah.
price where the Grizzlies didn't really want to trade him unless they're like, all right, you give us this, we'll get rid of
Yeah,
him.
right. A deal you can't
But
turn down.
and maybe, but I do got to say, he did look fresh in the Orlando Magic uniform.
He does. The Magic uniforms are just sick though.
They're so nice. They
I
got
got
aura.
I got some Desmond Bain quotes for you here
Okay.
that he said after the trade. He said, "My heart sank." And he said, "Once he said Orlando, I was smiling through the phone. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, like I was moving on from Memphis that fast." Sounds like he was pretty happy.
Damn.
And
So maybe
then,
he wanted out then.
well, then he says that he does another one. He said, "This facility is different. The one in Memphis didn't have one window. We called it the dungeon."
Oh my gosh, what's going on in Memphis?
I don't know, but he seemed very happy to.
Yeah.
He didn't want to sound too eager, but I think he was definitely happy that he left Memphis.
Yeah.
I know people were saying like a lot of uh, the police officials or whatever were saying like, yeah, it's not really a safe area. Like it's
No.
not the best place to live in the world, I guess. And
Yeah.
then you get to go to Orlando, Florida. You got no income tax or anything. And
Yeah.
it's pretty nice. So
Definitely.
happy for him.
Yeah.
He's enjoyed it.
Yeah. Definitely feels a bit rich though, but
Yeah.
I mean, Memphis can do a lot with those picks. I mean, they obviously, these picks could end up being, pretty decent. Honestly, also if Magic,
For sure.
if they don't, turn it up, if Paolo gets hurt one of the year, or Franz, and it's just because they have a team of like a lot of good defenders, but they definitely needed the shooting. So I mean, it'll definitely be better in that sense.
And I don't hate getting Cole Anthony either.
Yeah,
KCP,
nice pickup on the side.
Yeah, he can
Yeah,
come off the bench for you and give you some solid minutes.
yeah.
I wonder
And
how Pac-Man feels.
oh yeah, he might have to
What's
start
the main guy?
collecting coal too. Oh yeah, he is like the biggest Bane guy in the world. So, I mean, yeah, I wonder how he feels about that.
Devastated.
But yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Obviously, this is just the beginning. I saw the Pacers even made a trade. It was like a minor trade yesterday.
They traded their
Um,
first,
yeah, they trade like it was
like the rights to.
to I forget the guy something Mojave King or something.
Yeah, yeah. To
Yeah.
the Kings. I think the Kings had the rights to him.
Something
think
like
it
that.
was the
I
Kings.
don't remember who it was, but
Here,
it
I'll
was.
fact check it for you.
That's kind of crazy to think, front office making moves during the finals. But I mean, hey, everyone's working at the same time. It is an interesting, concept. Like the trades open up pretty early, and the NBA draft is literally the week after. Like it's a week away from today, right? The 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, or is that the
Wait.
or is I'm blanking on when the dates are, but
Oh,
what?
we have completely misread this deal. So
Oh
the
no.
Pacers they're trading the number 23 pick this year, and the
Okay.
rights to Mojave King, and a
Gotcha.
2023 second round pick. Oh wait, no. Mojave King and to wait. this Yahoo Sports is terrible. This is just, I don't know if I can't read. Okay, no, yeah. So they traded the rights to Mojave King and the 23 pick to the Pelicans to get back their 2026 selection.
Okay. Huh.
It's kind of
I,
suggests
I,
they're tanking.
I guess.
Pacers
Yeah.
tanking.
Hey, but that yeah. So I mean, moves happening during the finals. I mean, that's kind of
Interesting.
like NBA. There's so little off season really, so that's kind of like the other interesting thing. But yeah, we'll see what other moves. Obviously, next week could be huge. You know, bunch of moves could be happening.
Yeah.
But
Still waiting on KD.
yeah, I mean, Katie. I mean, obviously, I heard the Spurs were like appalled by how much the
Yeah, they were
Suns
like the
wanted.
least aggressive.
They wanted like Castle and like the second overall pick, and the Spurs were like, no, thank you. It's
I
like
cannot have Castle get traded.
no.
I really can't.
Katie's 37. I mean, he's obviously great still, but you can't depend on you can't spend
No.
even close to that. Like
And the
someone's
Spurs got something good building.
yeah,
They're young guys.
exactly.
Don't go out and
Young
trade for
core.
old
Yeah,
old star.
exactly. And it's like if they could get him for the right price, like someone said, like Vassell and like they picked
Oh yeah, I saw
14
that.
too or something, so something like that. But even that's a lot. But I mean, it would be for KD, even if you got like 2 seasons of him. But we'll see because there's gonna be other teams who throw offers and that
Yeah.
are willing to
He,
just
yeah, he said his like preferred destinations are the Heat, the Rockets, and the Spurs. Was it just those three?
yeah. Apparently he wanted the Knicks too, but they weren't interested because of how in the past like some of the things he said. I mean, obviously this could be just smoke, but apparently the Knicks were kind of on the list, but they aren't because they weren't really willing to do a move for him. They're looking for someone else, but so we'll see.
Looking for someone else, you said.
Someone else. I mean, hey, we'll
Giannis.
see.
Although I think he's
That
staying, which I kind of
yeah,
thought would happen, but you never know.
but
You never
hey,
know
if
with
he
the
gets
NBA.
moved, yeah, exactly. But to move on to some NFL news, we actually had a move today that was very interesting. Jair Alexander, the Packers tried to negotiate and tried to get his, cut off the last year of the contract, take a pay cut. Jair was like, nah, he ends up getting cut. He signs with the Baltimore Ravens, which adding him to Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, who just was drafted in the first. That could be if the issue with Jair is health, but if he can stay healthy, that is especially makes the dangerous secondary even better.
And for a bargain,
Yeah,
$4 million. I think it's funny he wouldn't take a pay cut, then signs a 1 year, $4 million deal.
yeah,
But I mean, I understand it because you want to go on an instant
yeah.
contender, and I guess he's
Reunites with
reuniting an old
Lamar.
teammate.
Yeah,
Yep. So it's gonna be. I think it'll be a very good Ravens defense per usual. I mean, it's at this point the Ravens
expect it.
always just look so intimidating as well. Like you
Yeah,
look at that defense, they wear their black jerseys and the visors, and I'm like, these guys mean business.
they got aura on defense
They got aura on defense
and
so
offense too.
and offense. Lamar Jackson.
Hey. They could be. I mean, they're the team I've been picking for going to the Super Bowl. I think I'm going to pick them again. Just hopefully they can get it done. But yeah, it's definitely helps. I mean, helps any additions you can get. And if Jair stays healthy, he's still that cornerback that is, that can play at an All-Pro level. So
Yeah,
if he
I
can
like
stay
the move
healthy,
for the
though.
Ravens.
Yeah,
I like the move for the Ravens. I like it for Jair. I guess gets to pick where
Yeah.
he goes. Always a plus for NFL players. I am gonna say I can't. I'm never gonna pick them to win until they get over the hump once.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. It's
just the
like
AFC 's
it's
so
until we
loaded.
see it. The AFC is just a gauntlet. It's like there's only going to be one of these great quarterbacks a year to get through, or maybe
Yeah.
not even one of the great ones. Like it could just be the team that slips through. That's what makes the playoffs so fun. It's like anyone
One
has
game.
a chance.
One game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you still got Patty and the boys. You still got Josh Allen and the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
You got AR and the Colts. Um,
You got the
Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals,
Chargers.
Chargers, Broncos. The Broncos defense also looks stacked. You know,
Yep.
already adding Hufanga and Greenlaw to that unit. That was really good last year. But yeah, there's a I mean Texans, like there's there's teams that we're not even mentioning that are like they have a chance to even make, do
Rattle
some,
that.
like the playoff race is going to be crazy for that 7 seed. There's a lot of young teams that are looking promising. I mean, obviously everyone looks promising this time of year, but I
Exactly.
mean it's going to be another. I mean, at football, we're so excited. Football. I mean, I know it's me and Austin's favorite sport, so um, we're definitely ready for it. But we also do have a couple other news items. So Hendrickson has resumed talks, and Shamar Stewart left. He actually, the day after our podcast, he left the Bengals facilities. What do you think
Yeah.
about this?
Um, I really, I really hope they don't like still try and lowball Trey Hendrickson. But honestly, the Bengals front office now just seems like that's all they want to try and do.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, this is like their last chance. If you don't get a deal done in these talks, trade him. Like you can't
Mm-hmm.
just hold the guy hostage forever and keep trying to get away with these deals. Either pay him or trade him.
Yeah.
They keep prolonging these talks. They built a bad relationship with him already. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's probably pissed off. And I did ask you this question though, just for argument's sake. If they do sign Trey Hendrickson, do they ever make the deal with Shamar Stewart, or do they try and trade his rights away?
I think 100% they got it. Just sign, like literally all it takes is removing that one clause. That one clause, because it's pretty BS. Like the other last, or Mims didn't have to sign it. Miles Murphy didn't have to sign it. Their last couple first round, like no one's had to sign it. Why should like a guy who was picked higher than Mims, uh, this year, why should he have to sign a worse contract? Like, even if you're not, obviously people will say, oh, if you don't do anything wrong, you don't do anything wrong. But why would he risk that if you never know what could happen, and there's no
Literally
point
anything.
in risking. Yeah, you could fall down your stairs at your house and get hurt. You
Car
want
accident, anything.
it turns your guaranteed money into basically not guaranteed, and it's a bad precedent to set. Like, none of the players want him to sign this. This is a terrible deal. This is the Bengals just being a cheap organization who, honestly, it's cool they're a football town, like, or football guys, the owners, but they're the poorest ownership group, and it's really showing when you cheap out on this. This makes free agents not want to sign there. This makes annoys your Joe Burrow was annoyed when they were taking forever on T Higgins and Jamar, and they actually had to pay Jamar about 20 million more probably if they had just signed him the year before. So it's like it's pretty it's not good business.
Yeah, it's a very poorly run organization, and I do agree with it's a bad precedent to set because you don't want other teams now then trying to pull off this move
Mhm.
for these players because like this is their livelihood. Like we're talking
Mhm.
about here, they first of all they have very short careers. They obviously do get paid a lot of money, but
Mhm.
like not everybody's a star. Like some of
Yeah.
these guys are only going to be getting those guarantees, and then they're going to be out of the league.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
let them get their guaranteed money. They deserve it. They got drafted. You pick them knowing that this is kind of the deal. You give them this guaranteed money. Um, but we were talking before, and I was comparing it to how teams got pissed off when the Browns gave Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract, and now all the players want that because that's the dream.
Mhm.
But it's just I don't know. I think you're right. They'll give in eventually. I don't want them to try and pull this stunt again in the future.
Yeah, because
If
it's
I'm a
just like
player,
you're wasting time.
I don't even want to be drafted
It
by them. I'd be like, God,
Yeah.
do
Come
I have to
on, the
really go through
Bengals,
this
really? I'm
headache?
gonna have to fight tooth and nail for months to, and because apparently they tried. I saw someone say that Miles Murphy's dad. He tweeted, he's like, they tried to pull the same thing with my son last year, but we ended up waiting, like just fighting it and waiting it out, and they ended up taking it out because it's such a it's a BS clause. Like, people can say what they want, but these players are, they're playing a sport where they could get, injured for the rest of their lives, and it's like
Yeah.
you want to be guaranteed your money, and there's no point in having guarantees if they can be voidable based on something. So, Shamar, we're on your side. Don't worry.
Plus, it's like all these teams make so much money off
Yeah.
these guys. Like these contracts are just percentages that they give away. So like, it looks like a lot of money to us. Like, wow, they're paying him how much?
Yeah.
And in reality, it's like, sure, but we're gonna make a lot
Billions.
more just owning the team
Yeah.
and selling tickets and so
Your
it's,
jersey.
jerseys. Just like
Yeah.
it's just give him his contract, give him his guarantees. Don't be cheap. Don't try and pull off stunts.
Yeah. And
Hopefully, this is a lesson learner. But
can't really afford to be cheap on your defense when they got shredded up like
the worst weekend.
Yeah, it's like, do you want Joey B to have to put up 42 points a game? It's
Probably
like
the best season we've ever seen from a quarterback that didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Both of your edge rushers, you're like, oh yeah, let's piss off our new potential, guy, and now let's, also we've already annoyed our current star, so it's like, it's not a great idea. I mean, just get him on the field, like, just do it as soon as possible, just get it over with. Like, it's not gonna save you if. Imagine he turned into a star and it was like we really were squabbling over this. So it's like
when it comes time to sign a new deal and he's like,
yeah.
Maybe I want to go to a different organization. I don't know. I feel like it is kind of shooting themselves in the foot for the future.
Yeah.
Like, because now if I'm a free agent, it's like, these guys are going to try and pull some stunts on me.
Yeah.
They might not even talk to me. Who knows?
Yeah. And what if they're like, oh, we want you to take a pay cut? It's like, nah. You're paying me the full amount. Yeah, it's disappointing to see. But you did say, Austin, that you wanted to declare yourself a guy of a certain guy. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to declare myself a Lenore Sellers guy. And one, the sports goggles electric.
Goggles gang.
Yep. And two, I think loyalty is very hard to come by these days, especially in college sports. Like, you have players flip around all the time now. The transfer portal has just become free agency for whoever's going to take the most money. And Lenore Sellers turned down an $8 million transfer offer. His father said that he gave him this piece of advice. He said, I told him he could say, I'm going to stay or I'm going to go, but my 2 cents, it was to get into college on a scholarship, play ball, get our degree, and go on about our business. The NIL stuff came later. We didn't come here to make money. We came here to get our education, play ball, and with schools calling, we're not just going to jump ship because they're offering more than what we're getting. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I love that. I think that is such a great lesson to be learned for like a lot of these kids now. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Just because you're getting a good amount of money to play whatever doesn't mean you have to jump ship and play at 4 different schools in 4 years. Or, like, because we've seen it, Bryce Underwood, he undeclared, he undeclared to go into LSU.
Yeah,
right?
that was like his dream school, but then he went to his home school in Michigan because they raised $10 million to.
Yeah, Dave Portnoy and the whatever group. The family, a billionaire family from his wife's like an alumni there. So it's like, I like it because it's loyalty and it's hard to come by. So I respect Lenore Sellers for Heisman declaring it.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people are liking him for the upcoming drafts. Like, I'm not sure if he's eligible in 26 or 27, but I've heard, I saw him play a couple times last year, great mobility, has a good arm, like he seems like he could be a guy. And it's also, speaking of the opposite of him was Nico, I can't pronounce his name. However you pronounce his name, Nico I. How he, Tennessee, they loved him there, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I want more money. And then when they're like, and then he's decided to sit out of practice, and then they're like, no, we don't want. It's like we don't want that, that around our organization, which is like honestly, like,
Thank God they did that.
Yeah, and he ended up signing for less money with UCLA because a lot of teams were scared off. It's like you just missed a practice because you were making only $2.5 million. You wanted $4 million. And it's like, come on, like you. It's
Yeah.
like
College ball
it.
is not meant to be being a
Yeah,
diva to get a contract. Like this is very new, and they still really do need to work on like regulations and everything because it is getting
hmm
a little ridiculous. The Nico scenario, I'm so happy that they didn't cave and give him money because that would have set a
yeah,
really bad precedent. You'd have a lot of
like
players all over the country not wanting to
yeah.
play.
And it's different if he just it was like, oh, I want to negotiate, but you're still practicing. Like to not show up to
Yeah,
practice, you're the starting quarterback. You're supposed to lead these guys, and you end up doing that. I mean, it's just we'll see what happens at UCLA, but I mean, it's maybe it's a mistake he learned from because I did hear something like they were regretting it afterwards, but it's like you really shouldn't like he got bad advice apparently from the whatever agent. It's like
agent,
I hope that's the case. Sometimes there's agents that interfere that get greedy because they're getting a
for sure.
percentage.
All they care
So
about is
it's
money.
yeah, so it's like it's also hopefully it's mostly that like maybe it was just a bad person in his ear, but it's like you don't like to see that, but you like to see what Lenore Sellers, sticking it
Loyalty.
out, like staying with the school. I'm sure is like the school that took a chance on him, the ones that they're like, oh, we want this guy, and he wanted to go there, so it's like it's definitely cool to see.
Yeah, I love that. And
hmm
like, um, oh, I might have lost my train of thought here on the Nico scenario. Oh, he's all. I don't know why he's also not thinking bigger picture here. Because now,
hmm
first of all, that's a massive turnoff for NFL teams. Like if you're
Yeah.
doing that in college, I don't even want to know what you're gonna do when you come to the pros.
hmm
But anyway, Lenore Sellers, he's actually mocked to be the number 2 overall pick next year.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. It's between him and Aller, right? For
Oh, number 1, Garrett Nussmeier.
no, oh wow,
I don't know why that guy. No,
yeah. I'm
no, I'm not gonna
like,
say anything.
yeah,
But
we'll see what happens, but we'll definitely have another episode where we talk about like way too early prospects. That'll be definitely interesting to go into, but there's definitely these next upcoming two quarterback because Arch is going to be 2027. He's already
most
said that
likely,
he's
but
most
yeah,
likely not going to declare this year. So you have him, Lagway could be in that. Like, there's going to be a ton of, and obviously Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams. Like these next, for real life and dynasty purposes, like there's definitely some
yeah,
fun prospects in the next couple of classes, especially quarterbacks. A lot of teams maybe didn't take a quarterback this year because they thought, oh, we're waiting until next year's class. We'll take a stopgap option, see if they work out, and then
yeah.
some teams could
I
be.
think I saw the interview that he did or that Arch did
hmm
um, with I forget who, but basically he was very humble, which I did like as well. He was like, I don't think that I've done anything to like for people to be taking pictures with me in restaurants and like asking for my autograph. It's like I literally have accomplished
hmm
nothing. Like my family, yes, obviously, but it's just I like to see like
Yeah.
younger players like that don't have like a massively fueled ego. Like I think that's
hmm
really important to have, and it especially at the quarterback position because if those guys get greedy, then they don't turn out to be
Yeah.
winners. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's like you like to see a guy, humble, especially when he's surrounded by, so many people pumping his ego, so many people, for him to stay rooted in his that's definitely nice to see. And also, obviously, for the mock drafts, this far out, obviously a couple years ago, like Sam Howell was projected to go number one before having that, not great year and dropping the fifth round. You have so we'll see. Obviously that's the big thing with quarterbacks projected this far out. It's like they still need to have the good year if they want to get drafted high. So hopefully, because I'm like, I mean, obviously we have like Nussmeier. Like I'm shocked. I didn't know he was projected number one. I knew he was projected like high, but I didn't know he was projected that high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A quarterback that I'm actually very I'm high on.
Who?
Arizona State quarterback Sam Levitt.
Oh, that guy's
I
got
think
some
he
dog in him.
I think he's good. I
Yeah,
also just like
definitely.
that team. They were fun.
And he was a freshman this year, right? Or was he a
Yes, he might have been a sophomore.
sophomore? Okay. Yeah, because he's pretty young too, and yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year across college football. Also, Jeremiah Smith for a Heisman, or Jeremiah Love for Heisman. Sorry,
No, Jeremiah Smith, you got it right
but
the
I mean
first time.
he could go for Heisman too. I mean he's ridiculous. Like he's gonna be a problem in 2027. I mean,
He's
what can
literally
you?
one of the best receivers we've
How
ever
how
seen in
can you
college.
guard a guy who literally has everything in his bag? Like this, he's a true freshman last year. He was 6'3", fast. I mean, running. It's just
Great route
it'll
runner. Just
yeah
it looked like he was an NFL player playing in college
yeah so
as a
polished
freshman.
already. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like this guy's gonna be a
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
But they were
But
saying Marv said it last year, like when he was coming in, they were like, uh, he was like, yeah, no, he's an issue. Like
hmm
he's one of the greatest receivers I've ever seen.
yeah,
You know?
hey, but unless you have anything else to say, Austin, I think this is where we wrap it up.
Yeah, it's a good time to wrap it up. We'll have Doug back next episode, talk about
Yes,
the
sir.
card show that Robbie and him attended. So
And we'll have the results from the NBA Finals too, because
hopefully we're
Game
going to
Seven
Game
will
7.
be that next. If it goes to a Game 7, it'll be that Sunday.
Yeah, you got it. You know what you're doing.
Whoa, whoa,
You
whoa!
almost didn't drop an if there.
Sorry.
There you go.
Not sorry.
Oh.
But all right, guys, we will catch you in the next one.